China has proven to be a much more formidable adversary than, say, Russia over the past 3 decades, and Congress finally seems to be taking notice of that. Today, the House Intelligence Committee held a hearing on Chinese espionage and how it threatens private actors and the U.S. government. James Phillips is chairman and CEO of NanoMac, Inc., and testified at that hearing, and he joins us tonight. Mr. Phillips, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So you run a high-tech manufacturing company in the United States that makes a bunch of different things, some of them for the U.S. government.
Yes.
Tell us how you have experienced the threat from China to our private sector.
Well, we are a deep science manufacturer. We make things that nobody else can make anywhere in the world. And, you know, one day, not very long ago, the FBI just showed up at our door and said, you know, you're the most hit firewall in the southern United States by China. And they're hitting you millions of times a day on your firewalls, and you need to look out for it. And so there was a thing under the Bush administration called the National Nanotechnology Initiative to protect nano, because nano is so important to the U.S. It undergirds all manufacturing. And as we try to reclaim manufacturing in the United States, it really all starts with nano. It doesn't matter whether it's AI or any of the new technologies, big data that you read about. Nanoscience is somewhere there, especially in medicine, things like that. And so it needs to be protected. And it caught us by surprise, but luckily we already had 2 firewalls. But at the end of the day, after looking at it really, really closely, they said, as much as we've helped you now protect, I kind of turned over my entire firewall to the FBI, and they've still got it. And to that extent, it's protected. But they said, you know, you almost have to go and put everything in your logbooks that you really want to protect, your really super secret stuff. If you're coming up with gravity-resistant materials to make things that are just really futuristic, whatever, do not put that on the grid. So we take a lot of stuff now off the grid. It's kind of like Back to the Future. You go back in time.
You're putting it in notebooks.
Yeah.
Is there any country that approaches China in the scale of the theft or in its aggression?
There's nobody even close. You know, I hear this Russia, Russia, Russia. I mean, Russia, to a great extent, is Mexico with nukes. I mean, they've got a small, GDP. I mean, China realizes the way to take over the world, the way to take over the United States, which they've publicly claimed they want to do and be the #1 country in the world in all respects, is through innovation, through science and jobs. And that creates GDP, which they're the fastest growing GDP in the world. And it holds true no different than it did 100 years ago. The person with the most gold is in charge.
Of course. Always. Mexico with nukes. I wish you told me that earlier. I would quote you every night, but I plan to from here on out. James Phillips, thank you. That was really interesting.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Gosh.